Connect Well is a brand new service provided by the NHS in North Leeds. It will be operated through your local GP practice and be staffed by people called Wellbeing Coordinators. Mrs. Smith is an older person living in Alwoodley. Her husband died a couple of years ago, and Mrs. Smith has been finding it difficult to look after herself and her home. She has become isolated and lonely and suffers from rheumatoid arthritis, which is causing her pain and limiting her mobility. Her GP discussed the possibility of a hip replacement, but Mrs. Smith was worried about going in for an operation as she has a dog, and the surgery would mean several days in hospital. The GP was able to connect Mrs. Smith to the practice's Wellbeing Coordinator. The Wellbeing Coordinator introduced Mrs. Smith to a local voluntary organisation that could look after her dog while she was in hospital. She also connected Mrs. Smith with another organisation that provides befrienders and a home support team who smoothed the way in the lead up to Mrs. Smith's operation. The team helped to get her home in order and also buy necessities for the hospital stay. Mrs. Smith's befriender visited her during her time in hospital, and the home support team assisted with Mrs. Smith's discharge following her operation by ensuring that her home was in a suitable state, the heating was on and there was food in the fridge. The Wellbeing Coordinator liaised with the GP practice and a continuing care team to ensure that Mrs. Smith received the medical support she needed. Mrs. Smith's overall well-being increased and she decided to give something back by becoming a volunteer for Pets as Therapy. She now regularly visits a local hospital and care home supporting others. Mr. Jones is a younger adult who recently arrived in North Leeds. He has been sofa surfing since he was forced to leave his parental home over 12 months ago. Although Mr. Jones is homeless, he is not officially on the Leeds Council radar. He has been drinking since he was very young and is now addicted to alcohol. Recently, Mr. Jones has been suffering from stomach pains, a loss of appetite and general fatigue. One of his friends knew about Connect Well and gave him the service's contact details. Mr. Jones phoned Connect Well and was connected to a local Wellbeing Coordinator. The Wellbeing Coordinator helped Mr. Jones to register with his local GP practice and encouraged him to make an appointment to see a GP. The GP concludes that Mr. Jones may have the early signs of alcohol-related liver disease. Together with the Wellbeing Coordinator, they discussed his situation. The Wellbeing Coordinator set up a meeting for Mr. Jones with a local housing charity. The charity was quickly able to place Mr. Jones into suitable temporary accommodation and provide a housing support worker to assist him. The housing support worker helped Mr. Jones to sort out his benefits, including housing benefit, and to gain priority housing status from the local authority, which in turn led to permanent accommodation. The Wellbeing Coordinator also connected Mr. Jones with an organisation that specialises in employment support. This service helped Mr. Jones to get work experience, which boosted his confidence and fuelled his desire to eventually secure full-time work. Connect Well will offer people the opportunity to have their everyday social needs assessed, alongside any medical issue they may have. It will be operated through your local GP practice and be staffed by people called Wellbeing Coordinators.